would you do if the leader you admired, the voice that carried millions through worship, was suddenly rushed to the IQ in critical condition? At just 49 years old, Pastor Charles Jenkins, one of gospel's most respected pastors and recording artists, has found himself fighting a battle no one saw coming. And just when things couldn't get any more shocking, his wife speaks out, and her words are bringing people to tears. Stay tuned, because what we're about to reveal will shake not just his congregation, but the entire gospel community. This story isn't just about a pastor. It's about a husband, a father, a gospel icon, and a man who has inspired countless believers around the world. Pastor Charles Jenkins, known for his chart-topping gospel hit Awesome and his unwavering leadership, has suddenly found himself in a fight that has left his family and followers in shock. At only 49 years old, being rushed at the IQ has left many asking, what happened and why now? But here's where it gets even more gripping. His wife has broken her silence, and the raw, emotional truth she shared is bringing his supporters to tears. What she revealed isn't just about his health. It opens up a much bigger conversation about the pressures of ministry, the hidden struggles behind the pulpit, and the toll that carrying other people's burdens can take on a leader's own life. You won't believe the details we've uncovered, from his health scare to the private battles he never showed in public. And as we dive deeper, you'll see why this moment could change not only his life, but the way we look at faith leaders across the gospel industry. So stay with me until the very end, because this isn't just news. This is a wake-up call, and trust me, the final revelation will leave you speechless. The health scare unfolds. At 49, Pastor Charles Jenkins was suddenly rushed to the IQ, leaving fans and followers in shock. Known for his vibrant energy on stage, his heartfelt sermons, and his commitment to ministry, no one expected such a drastic turn in his health. According to multiple sources close to the family, the incident came without warning, sending his congregation into immediate concern and prayer. Reports suggest that the initial symptoms appeared subtly: fatigue, shortness of breath, and intense stress from an increasingly demanding schedule. But within hours, the situation escalated, prompting medical professionals to admit him to intensive care for close monitoring. The urgency of the situation left his family, friends, and church leaders scrambling for answers, all while the public remained in suspense. What makes this situation even more shocking is the context behind it. Pastor Jenkins has been under immense pressure for months, balancing international tours, recording sessions, and church responsibilities. Some insiders reveal that he had been ignoring warning signs, prioritizing ministry over his personal health, a decision that may have contributed to this critical moment. But here's the twist that many don't know. It wasn't just his physical health at stake. Behind closed doors, emotional and mental stress had been building, amplified by personal and professional challenges. The IQ admission wasn't just a health scare. It was a wake-up call, a dramatic reminder of the unseen burdens that leaders in the gospel industry often carry in silence. This shocking turn of events left fans praying fervently and fellow gospel artists expressing deep concern. Social media lit up with messages like "Stay strong," "Pastor Jenkins," and "We are praying for your full recovery." Yet, while the public reaction was intense, the full story didn't come to light until his wife spoke out, revealing details that few had ever heard before. And here's the cliffhanger. What she revealed next not only explained the reasons behind the IQ rush, but also touched on a deeply personal side of Pastor Jenkins' life, one that fans rarely get to see. His wife speaks out, the emotional revelation. After the shocking news of Pastor Charles Jenkins being rushed to the IQ, the world waited for answers. And it wasn't long before his wife stepped forward to speak. Her words were raw, emotional, and deeply revealing, giving fans and followers a glimpse into the personal struggles that no one outside their household had fully understood. She described the intense physical and mental strain her husband had been under. Between leading a growing congregation, recording music, traveling for ministry engagements, and managing personal family responsibilities, the pressures had been relentless. In her emotional message, she explained how these responsibilities had taken a toll on his health, a toll that had quietly built up over months. Her statement also touched on the emotional weight of ministry itself. Pastor Jenkins has always been a figure of inspiration, offering hope, guidance, and spiritual encouragement behind the pulpit. He faced moments of exhaustion, doubt, and stress that he rarely disclosed publicly. She revealed that while he poured out strength for others, he sometimes neglected his own well-being, a dynamic familiar to many leaders in faith communities.
But what moved viewers most was her honesty about the human side of her husband. She didn't shy away from showing vulnerability, sharing tears and heartfelt confessions about the fear she felt seeing him in critical condition. Her message was not only a call for prayers, but a reminder of the humanity behind the celebrity and leadership. That even the most respected pastors can face moments of fragility. This revelation sparked an outpouring of empathy and concern across social media. Fans sent messages of support, fellow pastors reached out with prayers and encouragement, and the wider gospel community began reflecting on the personal sacrifices leaders make in the name of faith. And here's the shocking part they don't often show on stage. Her message also hinted at underlying emotional and relational pressures that contributed to this health crisis. While details were shared carefully, it became clear that the IQ incident was not merely a medical emergency. It was a wake-up call about balance, vulnerability, and the cost of leadership in the gospel world. Her words struck a chord far beyond the church walls, reminding everyone that behind every inspiring sermon or hit gospel song is a person navigating life's challenges, often silently. The hidden pressures of ministry, what fans and leaders don't see. Pastor Charles Jenkins' IQ scare serves as a stark reminder that ministry, while rewarding, carries hidden pressures that few outsiders fully grasp. For leaders like him, the public sees the sermons, the music, the awards, and the stage presence. But what remains invisible are the countless hours of preparation, personal sacrifices, and the mental and emotional toll that comes with shepherding thousands of followers. One of the most significant pressures is emotional labor. Leaders are expected to provide constant guidance, encouragement, and spiritual support to their congregations. Every message must be carefully crafted to inspire, every interaction measured to uplift, and every appearance polished to reflect leadership. For Pastor Jenkins, balancing this responsibility while dealing with personal challenges creates a constant internal strain that few fans ever witness. Mental and physical stress are deeply intertwined. Long hours, extensive travel, late-night rehearsals, and the demand to maintain peak performance can erode both mind and body. Insiders report that many pastors often push through fatigue, ignoring early warning signs of health issues, just as Pastor Jenkins reportedly did. The IQ incident highlights the consequences of sustained pressure and the dangers of neglecting personal well-being for the sake of ministry. Another invisible burden is relational and familial stress. Leading a congregation often requires time away from family, which can create tension at home. Pastor Jenkins' wife's recent revelations underscore this reality. The emotional weight of seeing a loved one overextend themselves for ministry can be overwhelming. The delicate balance between personal health, family obligations, and public responsibility is one that few outside the ministry can truly comprehend. The pressures are also compounded by public scrutiny and expectations. As a highly respected figure in gospel music, Pastor Jenkins faces constant evaluation, from fans, critics, peers, and media alike. Every song released, every sermon delivered, and every public statement is subject to judgment. While praise can be motivating, criticism and unrealistic expectations add a hidden layer of stress that accumulates over time. But here's the shocking truth most people don't realize. Even faith leaders who appear invincible are human. They experience fear, doubt, and exhaustion just like anyone else. The IQ incident was a wake-up call, not just for Pastor Jenkins, but for the entire gospel community, a reminder that leadership comes with consequences and that self-care is not optional. This section reveals why the story of Pastor Charles Jenkins resonates so deeply. It's not simply about a health scare. It's about the human cost of leadership, the unseen sacrifices behind ministry, and the need for balance in a world that often prioritizes appearances over well-being. And here's the cliffhanger. While the IQ scare brought immediate concern, it also sparked a larger conversation about accountability, mental health, and the responsibility of faith communities to protect and support their leaders. What happened next may surprise you. Reactions from fans, fellow pastors, and the gospel community. The news of Pastor Charles Jenkins being rushed to the ICU immediately sent shockwaves through the gospel. Social media platforms exploded with messages of prayer, hope, and encouragement. Fans shared clips of his sermons, celebrated his contributions to gospel music, and posted heartfelt messages like, "We are praying for you, Pastor Jenkins, and you've touched so many lives. Stay strong." These messages not only illustrated the depth of his influence, but also highlighted how deeply people connect with leaders who inspire them spiritually. Fellow pastors and gospel artists. Many leaders in the gospel music industry and church leadership reached out privately and publicly. Some offered prayers and personal support, while others emphasized the importance of rest, self-care, and balance in ministry. A few prominent gospel figures publicly acknowledged the pressures Jenkins faces, reinforcing the reality that ministry, even at the highest levels, is emotionally and physically taxing. Media and community commentary. News outlets and gospel-focused blogs covered the IQ incident extensively, highlighting both the health scare and his wife's emotional revelations. Commentators used the moment to discuss the broader implications for pastoral wellness, leadership accountability, and the need for supportive systems in church environments. The story sparked debates on how much responsibility leaders should bear and the importance of creating sustainable ministry practices. Interestingly, the response also revealed a generational divide in perspectives. Older congregants often focused on prayer and faith as the solution, while younger audiences emphasized the systemic pressures and mental health challenges faced by leaders. This dialogue illustrates the evolving conversation around ministry today, one that balances spiritual dedication with human limitations. But here's the key point that many people found surprising. While the immediate concern was his health, the broader takeaway became the conversation about transparency and vulnerability in ministry. Pastor Jenkins' IQ incident and his wife's candid words reminded the world that leaders, no matter how revered, are human. They can struggle, falter, and need support, lessons that extend far beyond any single congregation. This wave of reactions also set the stage for what comes next. Discussions about how the gospel community can prevent similar crises, support its leaders, and recognize the human cost behind ministry success. Lessons and reflections. What we can learn from Pastor Jenkins' experience. Pastor Charles Jenkins' IQ scare is more than a shocking headline. It's a powerful reminder of the human side of ministry and the lessons that come when life forces reflection. His experience offers valuable takeaways not just for leaders, but for congregations, aspiring pastors, and anyone involved in high-pressure roles. Lesson 1. Health comes first. Even the most committed leaders must prioritize their physical well-being. Pastor Jenkins' situation shows that ignoring early warning signs can lead to life-threatening consequences. Regular checkups, rest, and attention to stress levels are not luxuries, they are necessities. Ministry effectiveness is closely tied to personal health, and leaders cannot pour from an empty cup. Lesson 2. Emotional and mental health matter. Ministry is emotionally demanding. Leaders often carry the weight of countless personal struggles within their congregation, on top of their own challenges. Jenkins' IQ incident highlights the importance of acknowledging mental health, seeking counseling when needed, and creating support systems to manage the invisible burdens of leadership. Lesson 3. Vulnerability builds connection. The heartfelt words of his wife reveal a powerful truth. Sharing vulnerability strengthens relationships and fosters empathy. Congregations and fans connect more deeply when leaders are honest about their challenges. Pastor Jenkins' situation shows that acknowledging struggles is not a weakness. It's an opportunity to inspire others through authenticity. Lesson 4. Boundaries and balance are essential. Leaders must learn to set boundaries, delegate responsibilities, and maintain a balance between personal life, family, and ministry duties. Overextension can lead to burnout, which ultimately impacts both personal health and the community they serve. Pastor Jenkins' experience reminds us that balance is not optional. It's essential for sustainable leadership. Lesson 5. Community support saves lives. Finally, this story underscores the importance of a caring, engaged community. Fans, fellow pastors, and loved ones all play a role in supporting leaders during crisis. Prayer, encouragement, and active support can help leaders navigate challenges more safely, highlighting the communal nature of ministry. In reflecting on Pastor Jenkins' IQ scare, it becomes clear that this is not merely an isolated health incident. It's a wake-up call for the gospel community. On Pastor Jenkins' IQ scare, it becomes clear that this is not merely an isolated health incident. It's a wake-up call for the gospel community and beyond. A reminder that no one, regardless of their influence or faith, is immune to the pressures of life. Why Pastor Charles Jenkins' IQ scare matters. Pastor Charles Jenkins' sudden IQ admission at 49 is more than a shocking health story. It's a powerful reminder of the human side of ministry. Behind the sermons, recordings, and leadership lies a man who carries immense physical, emotional, and spiritual burdens. His wife's heartfelt revelations gave fans an intimate glimpse into the unseen pressures of ministry, showing that even revered leaders are not immune to exhaustion, stress, or health crises. This story is a wake-up call for leaders, congregations, and communities everywhere. Prioritize health, embrace vulnerability, and support those who dedicate their lives to guiding others. Pastor Jenkins' experience teaches lessons about balance, authenticity, and the critical importance of a supportive network, lessons that extend far beyond the church walls. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about the pressures faced by faith leaders today? How can congregations and communities better support their pastors? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure to like, subscribe, and share for more in-depth coverage of gospel news, trending controversies, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world of ministry. Stay tuned, because the conversation about leadership, health, and faith isn't over. It's just beginning.